What's up? Kevin here, just to give my first impressions of the whole Marvel craziness that has happened over the last couple of days, with Marvel announcing a slew of films from Doctor Strange, and I'll get them up right now. Dun, dun. Okay, I'll give you the dates right now, and then I'll give you the rest of the information I want to give you. For Captain America: Civil War, May 6, 2016. Doctor Strange, which is freaking awesome. I'm hoping Benedict Cumberbatch actually gets played for the role, because he's basically in final negotiations for the position, for playing the Sorcerer Supreme. That'll be November 4th, 2016. Guardians of the Galaxy, May 5th, which is actually up, I think, 4 months from when I think it was in September it was going to release of 2017, and they've pushed up to May of 2017, May 5th. Guardians 2, Thor Ragnarok, Ragnarok. If you don't know what that means, it means the end of all things, and basically I believe it's a storyline where Thor in some way is cloned, but the clone itself is different than Thor, but he has all of Thor's abilities, but he also is basically the dark side, bad person. Black Panther, November 3rd, 2017, and I actually have 2017. I actually have the actor. I know his name. He's playing Black Panther. I'm back. I have his name. Just give me 2 seconds. Is 1 second. Sorry. Whoa. Chadwick Boseman, who's been in films like 42, and that's the only film I know him from. I know 42 was the only film I know him from. That's Chadwick Boseman, and I'm quite surprised that they actually were able to cast someone this early in the process. Like, it's not due till 2017, but like they're this far ahead, and it's great. It's really awesome that they are. The next film I'm going to be talking about is Captain Marvel, which this is Carol Danvers, I believe her name is. Now, like, I know there has been a lot of incarnations of a character, but they are going by the woman, which is great because we have not yet seen a female-led superhero film from Marvel. Like, I know they've been wanting to do it for a long time, but they've had to, obviously set up the MCU, and they can't just shove a Captain Marvel in there. They have to, take the proper steps, and it's great now because Marvel is shoving out a slew of films. No one has yet play the character. Like, they said that they would release more information once they have a director and writers, on board with it, and then they'll have cast going after that, and that is due for July 5th, 2018, which is it's a bit from now. It's a couple of years. Next film, Inhumans, which is great to see, and it's kind of Marvel's way out of the whole mutant issue, where obviously, like, they wanted to bring in more characters that had abilities, but they would have obviously been mutants from X-Men, which is owned by Fox. So I know Marvel is really happy, and this is, like, I think the way they're going to do this with within the Inhumans is that they're going to say they got their abilities through the use of through the use of technology, like Loki's staff. Like, if you've seen the Captain America 3 end credit scene, you saw that Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were experimented on using the whole mind gem that was in Loki's staff, and that they got these abilities. So I think that's really how they're gonna run it, where there's these special technologies that are out there, and it changes these people and kind of in a way uses evolution and gives these abilities where obviously they wouldn't have them in this time and age. But I think that's the way they're going to go through technology and stuff like that. Probably mystical stuff too. And then you're probably wondering why I'm wearing these glasses, but it's actually Halloween day, so I thought the easiest thing I can go for is Harry Potter. So yeah. Next one is Thor Ragnarok. I can't pronounce it right. Ragnarok. If you don't know what that means, it means the end of all things, and that this storyline is based around, and this is post the Avengers 2, where Thor goes up against someone who is basically him. I believe it's a clone of some sort. a clone of him. I could be entirely wrong on that. I've read a few different versions of the comic, where Thor goes up against someone who's like him. It's basically a clone, but he doesn't look like Thor. He's different. He just kind of has all the abilities and the whole different look to him. And he goes up against him and fights him. And there's also someone about the Slur. I'm not sure. I think it's I believe it's a villain within Asgard that is let loose, and then Thor has to stop him. And I think and then it probably leads off in another kind of credit scene, end credit scene of Thanos getting another one of the Infinity Stones, possibly the Tesseract, at the end of Thor 3, sorry. So that's probably the way it's gonna go. I know it's very brief, but I have to get through all these before my video camera is freaking horrible today. It's been kind of skipping on me after like 15 minutes. The next one I want to talk about, and this is awesome, the Avengers Infinity War, which was completely unexpected to me. It is totally unexpected, and I did not expect to see this, and probably everybody else in the theater didn't expect to see this, because a lot of us thought that Thanos, and yeah, this is Thanos. Thanos gets all the Infinity Gems, and then he makes the gauntlet, and then he also goes up against the Avengers. And then I also should have mentioned in Guardians 2 that Guardians 2 will walk into is going to be, actually, if I get this right, it's 2017, forget it. Probably Guardians will walk right into the Avengers 3 in some sense. Maybe possibly Black Panther. I don't know. Like, Captain Marvel obviously is the closest because it's very cosmic storyline that she has between Earth and the cosmos. But probably in Guardians 2, he'll get the one gem that he obviously didn't get. I'm not 100% sure what it was called. It was kind of that blue gem that had the ability to give to kill a whole race of people thing. Unfortunately, I don't know the name of that gem. I know it's a purple gem, very powerful gem, and he'll probably get that gem in Guardians 2. He'll get that in that gem, and then I bet you in Thor 3 he'll get the Tesseract in Thor 3, and then he's obviously still missing a few of those gems. And actually that one that is in Guardians 2 with the Collector, the Ether, that's 3, and then he'll have to get the Mind Gem back from Loki's staff, so that might be also something that we might deal with in Avengers 2, which, maybe the scepter is reclaimed by Thor and he takes it back to Asgard as one of the Infinity Gems. So that's possibly a storyline that may run in Avengers 2. Like, obviously a lot of stuff goes down in Avengers 2, so like a lot of stuff I'm talking about could round out to be in Avengers 2, and then everything pushes forward right up to Infinity War. And like I say, Infinity War is basically where the Guardians and the Avengers go up against Thanos. And part 1, part 2, I'm very surprised to see, 2 parts. But, it's very good, and it's justified too, so to see them in 2 different parts. And yeah, it's just, I'm so happy in this. I should have also mentioned that I'm not sure where Doctor Strange will fit in all this to have his own origins film, but like, I don't know how. I don't know. It's just gonna be very interesting what happens, because nothing has really been said after 2019, which is the May of 20. Okay, part 1 in Avengers Infinity War is part 1 is due to come out in May 2018, and then part 2 basically come out at the same time but the following year, and nothing's been said after that date, because I believe it's within the comic of Infinity War that the Avengers are dismantled, and then they're not used. They're used, but they're no longer, like, they don't get any more solo films, and then more characters are introduced into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then that's it. Like, they might be referenced or used in certain other films, but I believe that after 2019, a lot of those characters, maybe excluding Thor, Scarlet Witch. The only character I can see really getting recast is Robert Downey Jr. Like, he's been playing that character for a long time, and 2019 is like 5 years away. So that might be the last film he does. And then Thor will probably still be used. A lot of the other characters maybe probably still used. There's a lot of them are quite young still, so they could still do another 5 or 6 years or 7 years of the characters, unless they want to leave those characters. Like Chris Evans, I was already talked about relinquishing the Shield at some point in the future. Now, obviously, in Captain America 2, that is kind of pushed on with the Winter Soldier possibly taking the Shield. I know there's a couple of different incarnations of the whole Captain America dying, and then what's his name? what's his name? Shoot, not Winter Soldier, but the other character that was in Captain America 2 with him. I believe it's Falcon takes up the shield, but that really doesn't make sense to me. That he takes up the shield, being he doesn't have the super serum. It would make more sense that Bucky does, because he does have the super serum, and he also does have his super serum. He has a relationship with Captain America, and that he also has a metal arm. And so it makes more sense that he takes up the shield, being that he kind of pushed to take it from Captain America said, "Please take my shield," or something, and relationship is the relationship between Cap and Bucky is so close. It probably will become very close in Civil War, Captain America 3, where he probably won't relinquish it then, but Bucky and him will be square, where thank you very much for saving me, Steve Rogers, and then Bucky remembers everything, and he still has super serum, so he could take up the shield when Captain America dies, maybe in Avengers 3. I don't know. We'll have to see about that. It'd be great to see. I love Sebastian Stan as Winter Soldier. I love that film. And if he does take up the shield, I'll be really happy for it. I would be. Falcon, he's cool, but I wouldn't call him a sidekick. I don't like sidekicks. I mean, he's a co-worker. He works with you, despite if you have more abilities than he does. So, yeah. And with Infinity Gauntlet and all that, it's just going to be very, very interesting what happens after. Because Marvel, it's very scary. The storyline does end with the Avengers dying. I believe it's dying or dismantling, and then they're no longer used, which could mean that Marvel doesn't do any more films about them, but that they do come back, but more characters are introduced, like Black Panther, Captain Marvel, the Inhumans, are more characters, there'll be less origin characters like Iron Man, which were used at the very beginning of the MCU, and they're fully established, and they no longer need sequels or films to for them. Like, they could just show up whenever they want to. I really think Marvel is doing it like the whole Lego game. To tell you the truth, the Avengers version of the Lego game that obviously DC makes, or Warner Brothers makes. But I think that's the way they're going to do it, where they establish them enough where they can show up in any film, as long as it's justified that they are there for something. Like Civil War and Iron Man being Captain America 3, they have to be justified to be in that film. So I really think it's the way they're going to go, as long as the crossovers are good. Just like I said, Iron Man, Thor, they can show up in any film, as long as the character serves the story and not there just to be a joke. So yeah, that's kind of where I am, guys. I might make a part 2 video of this kind of thought of where things are be going with Phase 3 and Phase 4 and Infinity Wars and Inhumans, Guardians 2. I'll be talking further on this. I just don't want to make this video too long because my camera likes choking out after 15 minutes and likes to quiver, and then I end up having to redo this video. But thank you very much for watching this video, guys. I'm the biggest. I am a huge fan of Marvel. I never was before the MCU was conceived in 2008. I think it was 2008. I've become the most valid and happy fan. Like, this stuff has changed my life personally. It's made my life much happier, being actually connected to something like Marvel and then Comic-Con and having friends, and it makes me feel really good to talk about this stuff. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was informative. I'm thinking about making a part 2 video just so I can get as much as I can into a part 2 and not have to shove it into part 1 like this and making it over an hour, which could be quite ridiculous personally. But thank you much for watching, guys, and let you know, whoever's watching this and they're from Alberta, the Calgary Expo is selling tickets tomorrow. It's gonna be quite insane. It's gonna be really, really great. I believe Aerostar is coming. I forget his name. He plays Arrow. And then Melinda May from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is showing up next year at Calgary too. So it's really, really great. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And as always, be awesome.